The Princess and the Pilot is one of those movies I randomly found in a deep crevice of an anime database, but was surprised I've never heard of it before. First of all, it's created by Studio Madhouse, which should be an indicator as to how well it's going to look. Additionally, it's from the same writer as Wolf Children, Summer Wars, and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, yet this movie is her second least popular work. That's likely because Mamoru Hosoda's name wasn't attached to it. I think writers don't get as much credit as they deserve. However, she didn't really have that hard of a job with this movie because it's a light novel adaptation that I also read, and it's fairly accurate. But more on that later. Real quick, just wanted to let you guys know about the $13 anime t-shirt sale over at TeePublic using the link in the description section below. They've got tens of thousands of different anime designs, and that's just anime. They've got tons of video game stuff, everything you can think of. T-shirts $13, but it's a site-wide sale. They've got mugs, travel cups, laptop stuff, stickers, wall scrolls, anything you can think of, you can find it there, and if you can't think of it, you can just upload your own and buy that one. It is an affiliate link. It supports the channel, but it's also the site that I've been using for years as well. All of the anime t-shirts I own, except for 2, come from that, or maybe 3, come from that site. I love it. Anyways, back to the review. The story is pretty simple. It's about a pilot who's given orders to fly a princess from one country to another. Although its title and premise may be a bit on the bland side, it's actually an enjoyable experience containing equal measures of drama, romance, and action. Plus, it's not often we get an anime about planes or dogfights. The story is set in a fantasy offshoot of Earth during a major war. Our protagonist, Charles, is a highly skilled pilot working as a mercenary, the highest position someone of his heritage could hold as a pilot. Charles grew up facing endless racism and being treated as subhuman by his peers, superiors, and even members of his own race due to his mixed blood. His resolve to pilot at any cost was the result of an epiphany he had at a young age as he lay on the ground on the brink of death, starving in the streets as he watches planes fly above. In the sky, you are free from the gravity of social stigmas that weigh everyone down. In the sky, everyone is equal. Due to the unforeseen circumstances of the kingdom's capital falling prey to a surprise air raid, Charles is given the top-secret mission of escorting the princess across the ocean into the arms of her betrothed prince. Naturally, their journey is filled with obstacles, or else it would be a pretty boring 100 minutes of them looking out of a plane window and trying to hold their pee. There are times when they're confronted by an entire military worth of planes. I felt the battles were exciting as Charles had to dodge heat-sinking missiles and barely escape a barrage of bullets which nearly turn his jet into Swiss cheese. Additionally, he's given an unassumingly average plane with only one gun to avoid suspicion. To further exacerbate things, this gun is located on the rear of the plane, so the pampered Fana is the only person who'd be able to operate it. This limits Charles to 3 options: run, dodge, and hide. The movie is animated well enough that the running and dodging aspects were enjoyable as Charles blasts around clouds and weaves through a sea of bullets shot at him by giant ships that encompass him. As for the hiding, this is where much of Fana's characterization takes place, as well as their budding romance. In the sky, it's a tie between a peaceful atmosphere and the total hell of war. On the ground, that's when Charles and Fana become acquainted with each other and we learn more about their lives. Although I can't say much, what I will say is that the two of them have a great chemistry and can relate to each other despite being in opposite classes. Both of them share the feeling of being treated subhuman, which may sound odd considering Fana is royalty. But from her perspective, she's just a doll that exists to make other people happy. She can't even choose who she marries. In my opinion, this aspect of Fana is glazed over in the movie. Her development is there, but she lacks the characterization required to make her progression feel like anything but a flight of fancy. In the novel, there are a few chapters told from her perspective, and we gain a better understanding of her resentment for her status. Although there is some missing content, the movie is mostly an accurate adaptation, which was much more enjoyable because I'd rather watch these events unfold instead of reading about it, especially when it comes to combat. If I could criticize anything about the adaptation, I think it should have been 10 minutes longer. Considering it's already 100 minutes, I think maybe they just couldn't do it. Either way, I found the movie to be refreshing in every aspect, especially in its depiction of the sky and nature. The only major criticism I have was about its ending. It's not a spoiler, but they tried to end on a note of poetic irony, and it just didn't make any sense to me. I get it, the protagonist is supposed to be stoic, but I feel like his actions spit in the face of his emotional struggles earlier on when he was given a certain ultimatum. I also consider it to undermine some of his characterizations. The ending was actually what inspired me to read the light novel because I couldn't believe that it could be the same way in the source material, and much to my disappointment, it was. To the credit of the novel, they did push the bar slightly in the favor of justification as they briefly explain his thoughts afterwards. Sadly, this part was missing from the anime, yet in my opinion, it wouldn't have helped much. Some may find the movie's ending to be beautiful and heartwarming because it does feel like something out of a Ghibli movie and was animated well. What keeps me personally from feeling this way is my understanding of how bad their world is and how much they both resent their lifestyles from before the mission began. Overall, I give the movie a 7 out of 10 and the novel an 8 out of 10. Both of them were enjoyable experiences. The anime lacked a few chapters worth of detail but gained in regards to its beautiful art style. The novel was well written and did a good job of articulating its minor details, but both versions lost a whole point for its ending. Although I rated the novel higher, I enjoyed the anime more because it's animated, and I'm more of an anime fan than I am of a reader. If you prefer to read, then feel free to start with the novel. If you really like either version of this, then I recommend checking out the author's My Anime List page because he's written a few other light novels revolving around planes, and one of them was even adapted into an anime series. If you like anime along the same vein, I recommend checking out Area 88, the 3-episode OVA from 1985. It also has a mix of romance, drama, and action, but with a much more character development and drama. The Cockpit is another 3-episode OVA, but from 1993. It's a collection of 3 mini-stories following pilots in war. The first story follows a kamikaze pilot in World War II, which is a rare perspective to be seen. Lastly, Poco Rosso, a Ghibli movie that also contains a mixture of planes, drama, and romance. What do you think of The Pilot and the Princess? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button and share with a friend so more can experience the wonders of anime without being spoiled. Thank you for watching. I'm not sure what my next review will be, but I'm currently working on 2 larger projects. One is a complete Genshiken series review of all seasons, sequels, spin-offs, and versions. I'm also in the middle of reading Goodnight Pun Pun. I'm not sure what I'll get to first, but I know I'll see you next week with another review. Later.